The war between Russia and Ukraine is getting more and more interesting every day. The historic defeat of Russian soldiers is on the agenda of the whole world. Today, new videos from the battlefield went viral. The Russian army is disgraced all over the world. So why are Russian soldiers failing? What was actually happening in the video that has been watched millions of times? What is the Ukrainian army's plan? As Anka News, we have prepared all the answers to these questions. The Ukrainian army has been showing a very strong resistance since the start of the war on February 24, 2022. According to the Ukrainian Defense Ministry, a total of 108,190 soldiers have died in the Russian army. Putin is having a very difficult time due to these huge losses. The whole world was surprised that the Russian army suffered such a huge loss. The Ukrainian army is using advanced drones to record videos of many operations on the battlefield and shared them with the press. In these videos, it is very clear how badly the Russian soldiers are failing. In one of these videos, Russian soldiers are seen drinking beer on a tank. The soldiers are lying on the tank drunk as a result of the operations of Ukrainian drones. These tanks were destroyed. All the drunk soldiers around the tanks are dead. This was not the only case of drunken Russian soldiers. It turned out that the Russian soldiers drinking in a cafe in Kherson, a city occupied by Russia in Ukraine, had clashes with Russian intelligence service officials. This incident became more talked about after some investigation files in the Russian army were leaked to the press. According to reports, Russian intelligence officials found Sergeant Sergei Abukov and Staff Sergeant Igor Sudin, two contracted soldiers in the Russian army, drinking in their uniforms in the cafe. It is strictly forbidden for Russian soldiers to drink alcohol in official uniform. Russian intelligence service officials gave these soldiers a stern warning. However, the soldiers responded with weapons. Soldiers of the 8th Artillery Regiment of the Black Sea Fleet opened fire on Abukov, intelligence officers. Then, when intelligence officer Privalov tried to reach for his weapon, Russian soldier Sudin fired at the intelligence officials with an AK-74 rifle. Intelligence officials clashed between the two soldiers. As a result of this clash, one intelligence officer and two soldiers died. In another incident, a Russian soldier is seen hitting a wall with a tank. In Volgograd, Russia, an alcoholic soldier destroyed the wall of an airport with an armored vehicle. The moments when the allegedly drunk soldier destroyed the perimeter wall of the airport with an armored vehicle were reflected on the airport security camera. An investigation was launched into the incident. This is not all the problems Russian soldiers have after getting drunk. A Russian soldier got drunk and started sleeping after consuming too much alcohol in a liquor store. The soldier did not leave the liquor store for days under the influence of alcohol. The Ukrainian army organized an operation in this town and all the Russian soldiers fled. But the soldier sleeping in the alcohol store was unaware of these developments. The Ukrainian army was surprised to catch the Russian soldiers sleeping among the bottles of alcohol. Russian soldiers have a lot of problems with alcohol addiction. These incidents have caused a crisis in the Russian army. It is claimed that the Russian general staff punished the commander in the region due to the soldiers' undisciplined behavior. There are constant arguments between Russian commanders. The Ukrainian Defense Ministry published a report on Russian losses following these operations. According to this data, 750 soldiers died in the Russian army in the last 24 hours. It has been a very difficult day for the Russian army. After this huge loss, the Russian leadership started to panic even more. The debate is growing about the cause of the disorganization in the Russian army. The Russian army is completely out of order. This leads to many strange events. Having suffered a major defeat against Ukraine, Russia has sent prisoners to the battlefield. These prisoners think that war is a game. Because of their irresponsible and undisciplined behavior, the Russian army is completely out of order. These prisoners are also harming other soldiers in the Russian army. There are constant problems between Russian soldiers. On the other hand, the Russian commanders are having huge conflicts because of this war. Most Russian commanders want to withdraw from this war, but the Russian General Staff refuses to withdraw from this war. This is causing many tensions within the army. The Russian army is suffering heavy losses in Ukraine. Putin made the biggest mistake of his political career by invading Ukraine. None of Putin's plans for this war have succeeded. The Ukrainian army is foiling Putin's plans one by one. According to experts, the Kremlin leadership now knows that it cannot win this war. Russia is trying to buy time during the winter months. Once the winter is over, Russia may withdraw from Ukraine completely. It is known that the Ukrainian army is preparing for much more extensive operations if Russia refuses to withdraw. The Ukrainian army attaches great importance to liberating the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant and Crimea. Ukraine is expected to launch operations in both of these regions once the winter is over. Russia does not have the power to fight against these operations. Russia will have to be defeated or withdraw from this war completely. As a result of these tensions, the failure of the Russian army is increasing. Russia has been forced to withdraw from most of the territories it occupied. No one believes that Russia can win this war anymore. The Ukrainian army also continues its operations during the winter season and continues to prepare for the post-winter period. The HIMARS used by the Ukrainian army are very effective. With a range of 80 kilometers, these missiles can operate successfully even on the coldest winter days. The armed drones used by the Ukrainian army can also fly in winter. Everyone knows that these drones have a serious advantage on the battlefield. The drones can fly even in snowy weather, and thanks to their advanced cameras, they can detect and destroy all the movements of the Russian army. What do you think about the recent operations organized by the Ukrainian army? What do you think will happen in this war after the winter? Do you think Russia will retreat completely in this war? What do you think will be the next target of the Ukrainian army? We are interested in your opinions. Anka Daily News covers the latest developments in the war zone for you every day. Copywriters, researchers, video editors, graphic designers and video editors work long hours to prepare these reports. To support this work based on unbiased reporting, you can use the super thank you button at the bottom of the video.